At the start of the default FM24 database, you'll find Beraldo is at São Paulo. However, in real life, PSG have just paid around 20 million euros to take him away from Brazil, and he has chosen to go to the French capital to try and make a name for himself. If you've not heard of the player before, stick around in the video. We're going to go 15 years into his career to show you exactly why PSG would want to go and splash that cash, although it does mean that if you want to sign him in the game, you're going to find it hard to prize him away from PSG in the future. So to break him down, he is a 19-year-old central defender who can also play as a defensive midfielder, valued in the game at 9 to 27 million pounds. He did have a contract that ran through to 2028, but of course now he will be at PSG. That contract will go probably even longer. Looking at him as a player, he's one of those 19-year-olds who pretty much is ready to step into any first team. In terms of his physicals, he's set up with a good, well-rounded set of attributes. They range from pace, stamina and strength of 13, jumping reach of 12, he has acceleration, agility and balance of 13. Also, in the mental side of his game, positioning stands out with 15, anticipation of 14, work rate of 13, and then in the technicals, first touch of 12, heading of 13, marking of 13, tackling of 13 and technique of 12. At the start of the game, he does come with one player trait, which is tries long range passes, which is quite interesting for a central defender, but I suppose it's Virgil van Dijk like when he will spray the ball forwards and probably try to switch the play out to the wings. As a player, he's absolutely fantastic at the start of the game. What we're going to look at now is how he develops going forward. So let's jump 5 years into the future and see how he turns out in 2028. So we have now jumped forwards to 2028 and we find a 24-year-old Beraldo has traded São Paulo for Feyenoord. He's valued at 24 to 73 million pounds, has a contract that runs until 2031 and he earns 70,000 pounds per week. Looking at the player, he hasn't developed massively and I do think he's probably hitting his peak for his development at this stage. But going through some of those attributes once again, agility of 15, lots of 14s in the physicals, 15 for stamina. In the mentals, he's up to 17 for anticipation, 16 for concentration and 16 for positioning. And then in the technicals, this is probably where he needs the most development still. Tackling of 13, marking of 14, heading of 14, first touch of 13 and dribbling of 12. If we go into his playing history to see how he has got to this point, so he actually has traded São Paulo for Inter Milan and has then moved on to Feyenoord. What is absolutely crazy here is that at the end of the 24 campaign, Inter Milan would pay £23 million for the player. He would play 13 times in the 24-25 season, 17 times in the 25-26 season, and then Inter would sell him on for exactly the same amount of money, making absolutely no loss or profit on the player. And when he has been at Feyenoord, he has played 13 times in the first season and 30 times in the 27-28 campaign. So when I said he was probably at his peak for development, I actually think there might still be more to come. As his game time is increasing, it does seem that he's actually getting better and better. Looking at the average ratings, didn't really enjoy his time in Italy, 6.52 and a 6.68. But once he gets to Holland, a 7.02 and a 7.18 with the 30-game campaign. So there probably is a little bit more development to come. Be interesting to see, though, if he hangs around in Holland or whether he tries his hand at a bigger team in 5 years' time. Let's move to 2033 to find out what happens. So we have now moved forwards, it's 2033, and we find a 29-year-old Beraldo has ended up at Manchester United. Looking at the player, he is now valued between 36 and 107 million pounds, has a contract worth 245,000 pounds per week, and that runs until 2035. Looking at him as a player, you can see there is probably slight development in certain areas, but there is no major overall development, and he's still pretty much the player that he was from 5 years ago. There are a few more player traits though. He marks opponent tightly, stays back at all times, does not dive into tackles, tries long range passes and refrains from taking long shots. Let's find out then how he has ended up at Manchester United. So as we said, playing for Feyenoord, he was a first teamer in that 27-28 campaign, but then in the next campaign for some reason couldn't get game time. 28-29, only played 4 times, so he actually must have transferred to Manchester United early in the summer transfer window, because a £56 million move sees him play 30 times in his first season, and then he would have 2 up and down seasons, playing 22 times and 18 times before cracking the first team at Manchester United, playing 31 times and 34 times. So the first team football is now there for Beraldo. The big question is, will he cement his place at Manchester United and stick with them for the last 5 years that we're going to look at in his career, or is there another move on the cards? Let's jump to 2038 and find out. So we have jumped forwards. It is 2038, and we find a 34-year-old Beraldo has swapped Manchester United for Chelsea. The game now values him at 3.3 to £10 million, and he has a contract worth £230,000 per week that runs until 2039. Looking at the player, he has had a slight drop-off in a few attributes, but overall for a central defender, he still looks solid, and you can see why Chelsea would have wanted to buy him, because he will still do a job in any top league in Europe. If we have a look at his playing career then to see how he has got to this point, so he stuck with Manchester United until the 2035-36 season, where he was starting to run out of game time really at Man United. In the 34-35 campaign, he only played 14 times, moved to Chelsea and only played 16 in the first season, but then went on to have back-to-back ever-present seasons. It means that come the end of his career here, 417 games played, 9 goals, 16 assists, 19 Player of the Match awards, and would fall just shy of a 7 overall average rating with a 6.98. If we go into his milestones to see what he will have won as a player, starting off with the competitions, going back to his São Paulo days, he was an Olympic game winner. He had his first international cap against Wales at the age of 22, won the Conference League with Inter Milan, then once at Feyenoord, won the Johan Cruyff Schaal, he won the Eredivisie, he won another Johan Cruyff Schaal. With Manchester United, he won the Europa League, the European South American Club Challenge, he won the UEFA Super Cup. In 2030, they would be Carabao Cup runners-up. He would score his first international goal at the age of 26, and then Manchester United would be Champions League runners-up. He would then go on and be an FA Cup runner-up. He would win the CONMEBOL Copa America, another Carabao Cup runner-up, UEFA Europa League winner, European South American Club Challenge winner, then for Brazil, Finalissimo winner, and then in 2035, Europa League runner-up, FA Cup winner, Community Shield winner, CONMEBOL Copa America third place, and then in 2037, Carabao Cup and FA Cup winners with Chelsea. So across his career, he has had some distinguished medals. He has won quite a lot in terms of his own personal medal collection. If we go through and look at the awards that he's received, then in 2023, he was the 2023 Supporters Player of the Year in Brazil. He was named in the Eredivisie Team of the Week quite a lot in his first season in Holland, named in the 2028 Eredivisie Team of the Week. He was named in Manchester United Seasonal Best 11 and the Europa League Squad of the Season. Then he would be named in back-to-back Brazilian Seasonal Best 11s. He was inducted into the Brazilian Overall Best 11. He was named in Manchester United Seasonal Best 11. He would then go on to be in the English Premier Division Team of the Week, Manchester United Seasonal Best 11, the Copa America Dream Team. Going forwards then, he would be in Brazil Seasonal Best 11, Premier Division Team of the Week, Europa League Squad of the Season, and then he would be Brazil's Seasonal Best 11, Manchester United's. Going forwards, that is quite the repetitive thing. So Brazil Seasonal Best 11, Manchester United's, and then he would move to Chelsea, where he would break into Chelsea Seasonal Best 11, Premier Division Team of the Week, and then going forwards, he would have English Premier Division Team of the Week, Chelsea Seasonal Best 11, and Champions League Dream Team for the 2038 campaign, and he would be the Champions League Defender of the Season third place in 2038. So overall, he would go on to have a fantastic career, and don't forget, he has started the game here at São Paulo. When you start a new game after the winter update, he will get that attribute boost once he goes, well, he's already at PSG in real life, but once he moves there in Football Manager, he will get an attribute update. Whether you can get him off of PSG, that's going to be another thing altogether. But looking at this, he's going to have a very positive career. He's gone on to play for teams like Inter, Feyenoord, Man United and Chelsea, so all the talent is there. Right then, if you're still with me at this point of the video, firstly, a big thank you. Secondly, if you could hit the like button and subscribe to the channel, I really would appreciate it. Cannot thank you all enough for the support that you show to the channel. It really means the world to me. Before you go, don't forget to check out the other videos. There are other Wonderkid videos on the channel. There are Let's Plays, hints, tips, tutorials, a little bit of something for everybody. But for this one, I'm going to leave it there. Thank you for watching. See you on another video very soon.